Okay, let's dive into this. Today, we're taking a truly fascinating look under the hood of something that is quietly revolutionizing how we interact with artificial intelligence. In this explainer, we're focusing on Knowles Hermes. But wait, not just as another language model you chat with. No, we're dissecting it as a complete autonomous agent ecosystem. So if you love building, tinkering, or you just really want to understand the absolute cutting edge of AI automation, you are in exactly the right place. Let's get started.
It's funny. Everyone completely missed the real breakthrough here. While the entire internet has been endlessly arguing about which open weight model is the smartest or, who has the highest benchmark scores, Knowles Research did something incredible. They quietly shipped a massive, fully featured command line agent framework. People are just so hyper-focused on the chat interface that they're completely ignoring the absolute powerhouse engine running right underneath it.
So this brings us to a really pivotal question, and honestly, it's the one that defines this entire explainer. What actually is the difference between an AI model and an AI agent? I know it sounds like pure semantics, but it's actually the difference between a textbook and an intern. A model, well, it just talks. An agent acts. And because so many people don't realize this distinction, I'd say about 90% of users are totally missing out on the true power of what newest Hermes can actually do for them.
All right, section 1, the brain versus the body. Now, what's really interesting about this concept is how it structures everything we're talking about today. Think of the Noise Hermes 4 language model as the brain. It's the pure intellect. It talks, it thinks, and it pushes context limits all the way to a staggering 500,000 tokens, which is just wild. But an intellect without a physical form can't actually impact the real world, right? That is exactly where the body comes in. The Hermes agent is this open-source framework that actually gets work done on your machine. It executes commands, it searches the web, it actually remembers things. So the model is just the brain, the agent is the physical body that interacts with your computer.
Let's move on to section 2, building the agent body. I am not kidding when I say this is the fastest zero-to-working agent path I have ever seen. Step 1, you just run a single curl command in your terminal. Literally, that's it for the installation. Step 2 is where the real magic happens. You run Hermes Setup Portal. To get one free login, this instantly wires up your model and a whole gateway of tools behind a single sign-in. And then step 3, you just start building. There are no complicated cloud accounts required. You completely skip the nightmare scenario of juggling 5 different API keys for search, vision, text-to-speech, all of it. You get a true agentic command line instantly.
And once you run that setup, you unlock immense capabilities right out of the box. Your agent isn't just spitting out text anymore. It can actively run a web search. It can fire up a real browser to click around web pages, utilize code execution to run your scripts, use vision to see images, tap into memory. It can even delegate tasks to sub-agents. Need something done daily? It has cron scheduling for automated tasks, and it easily connects to MCP servers. You literally just switch on the tools your task needs. That is what an agent really is. It takes action. But what if those default tools just aren't quite enough? Well, that's where the skills system comes in. It's like a giant puzzle where you compose your agent out of reusable, shareable capabilities. It's incredibly modular. Say you need to manage your server clusters. You just browse the hub, install the Kubernetes skill, and boom, you type /k80s right in your terminal, and your agent natively understands how to handle Kubernetes operations. You can install pre-built skills from the community, or you can write your own to infinitely extend your agent's body.
Which leads us to section 3, skills, memory, and flexibility.
Okay, we have got to stop restarting from zero. Seriously, most people close their terminal and when they come back the next day, they have to completely re-explain everything to their AI. Not here. You close the terminal, you go grab a coffee, you come back tomorrow, you type Hermes-C for continue, and you instantly resume your last session with its memory fully intact. The agent is specifically built to retain context across your sessions. Let the poor thing remember. So let's see how this all builds into the fundamental rhythm of the agent. This right here is the core agent loop. Number 1, you ask a question. Let's say, hey, what's my disk usage? Number 2, the agent actually thinks about how to solve it. Number 3, it calls a tool. In this case, it runs the real shell command on your local machine. Number 4, it reads the real response that your computer spits back. And finally, number 5, it formulates the answer for you. It's not hallucinating or pretending to run code. It physically executes it, reads the output, and reports back. That loop, that's the whole shebang.
And this leads us to what might just be the biggest reveal of this entire dive. The exact same agent runs on Anthropic's Claude, OpenAI, Gemini, or fully local.
I want you to really think about that for a second. The open source Hermes body that we just built together can actually be powered by closed frontier brains for the absolute hardest tasks, all from the exact same interface. You could run locally for your super sensitive data and then seamlessly swap to a massive frontier model for the heavy lifting. It's an absolutely incredible unlock.
Let's shift gears and look at the model itself in Section 4, Upgrading the Agent Brain. Now, this one is specifically for the builders out there. You are going to want to turn on trajectory saving. Why? Because when you do, every single agent run, every single multi-turn tool call, every piece of code execution is automatically saved as impeccably clean training data. Hermes literally captures its own successful actions to feed directly into AeroPose, which is News's reinforcement learning framework. So your agent is literally out there generating the exact data required to make your next agent even better. How cool is that? So Hermes 4 utilizes this really clever hybrid reasoning model. Basically, you have two modes. Having reasoning off gives you incredibly fast, super cheap answers for your simple, everyday queries. But if you flip reasoning on, the model suddenly engages in deep, step-by-step deliberation inside these special think tags before it even tries to answer. The real trick here is budgeting your thinking. You can toggle this via API parameters, and you really only want to turn reasoning on for those gnarly, complex problems so you save yourself time and compute. And when that reasoning is on, it doesn't just think once. No, the agent reasons before and after it uses a tool. It thinks deeply about which tool to call, it calls it reads the result, and then it actively reasons again about the data it just got back before it even hands you an answer. This dual thinking process is exactly what makes the agent genuinely reliable, rather than just blindly blurting out incorrect function calls and crossing its fingers. To support all that reliability, Hermes uses what I like to call bulletproof function calling. It relies on a real, properly documented format where tools are passed neatly inside XML tags. But the absolute genius part? The tool calls themselves are special tokens. This means you as a developer can detect a tool call the exact millisecond it begins, pause the stream, run the tool, and then resume. This completely eliminates waiting around for massive, clunky text responses and creates those snappy, highly responsive agents we all actually want to use. All right, let's talk about control in Section 5, Structuring and Steering Output. So the crucial point here is for anyone self-hosting. If you are serving Hermes with VLM, you absolutely must use this exact command line flag. -- enable auto tool choice and -- tool call parser Hermes. Listen, if you forget this one specific flag, your beautifully pristine tool calls are going to come back as broken, unformatted plain text, and you will literally spend hours debugging it. This single line is the difference between absolute magic and a massive headache. And for the ultimate control, you can actually lock the output completely. Step 1, you just define a strict Python data class, something like a Pydantic model. Step 2, the agent is forced to fill it in precisely using schema tags. And step 3, instead of just praying the model returns a random string you have to parse manually, you receive a perfectly typed, validated object back directly into your code. You hand the agent a contract, and it honors it. Every time. Okay, this next part is highly counterintuitive, but stick with me. If you want the most neutral, highly steerable, user-directed behavior, you actually want an empty system prompt. Literally leave it completely blank. Less is more here. But if you do want a specific persona, give it a strong persona prompt. Hermes is state-of-the-art for low refusals. It will adopt that committed character brilliantly, and it'll adhere to it without arguing with you at all. So you either get a totally blank slate or a fully committed actor entirely on your command. Bringing it all together now, Section 6, 3 Steps to Mastery. Think of this as your personal cheat sheet. To avoid the #1 mistake people make, you've got to use the official model settings. Set your temperature at 0.6, your top P at 0.95, and your top K at 20. And crucially, whatever you do, don't try to handwrite your system prompts for tools. Just pass your tools directly into the messages array and let the tokenizer build your prompts for you. Doing that practically guarantees you will never use the wrong formatting syntax. So let's recap. We've seen how running Setup Portal gives you instant, painless access. We've learned how using the official settings keeps everything incredibly stable, and we've seen how selectively toggling that deep reasoning optimizes your overall performance, which leaves us with one final, provocative question. Now that you know exactly how to wire the ultimate brain to the ultimate body, what will you build with your new agent? The tools are quite literally in your hands. Get out there and start building.